that rope exercise. And Dilianu, an 8.7 for hoop. She must have lost a fair bit for that drop. I'd say at least a 0.3. She had to take quite a few steps to go and retrieve the hoop. And it's usually 0.1 for every step you take. Maria Petrova. Petrova, the #1 Bulgarian, and Bulgaria really looking to her to help them towards a team medal, maybe even the gold. And she's not always the most reliable person. She can have disasters on the big occasion. And there's that pirouette again. Nobody can turn like that. Did quite well to get to that throw. Clubs really separated in the air. Really interprets this music well. Piece by Suzanne Vega. Very tricky exercise. And didn't make a mistake, which is the most important thing. We'll take a break now. Brilliant clubs exercise. And having to follow that, poor thing, Andrea Zale from Hungary. Loses a little bit of shape on those jumps through the rope. Rope mustn't kink in any way. Well, didn't bother her having to follow the European champion. Good performance in her own right from Andrea Zale. Katarzyna Skoropinska from Poland. Got a 9 on rope. Plenty of throws in that hoop exercise. Seemed to grab, though, at some of the catches. I felt didn't really run as smoothly as it could.
Avec le ballon, Irina
A little bit off balance there on that side leap. Still a fairly dynamic routine by the Polish girl. All her exercises have been pretty fast like that. Irina Dilianu, now she's really got to pick herself up. She had a disappointing hoop exercise. Remember, she had that big drop about halfway through. Had to go charging after it. And this must be a new ball routine for her. Certainly different music. Morning has broken. This reminds me of infant school. I must say this is a very different style of exercise for Dilianu. She normally goes for the faster music, much more punchy. I have to say, I don't like that one so much. A little bit on the sleepy side. And some of the movements didn't quite go with the music anyway. Andrea Zale, 8.75 for her with rope. And Skoropinska, 8.9 on hoop. Some good mill circles there. That's those small turning movements of the clubs, and really one of the essential elements of the club's exercise. Judges looking out for 3 different sets of those circles, as well as everything else, of course. The bends, the leaps, the balances, and the pirouettes. Asymmetric throw. So the gymnast throws the clubs and they're both turning in different directions. Great sense of drama in that rhythm routine. Really interpreted the music so well. Not just with the body movements, but with the head movement and the facial expression. All that, of course, not just coincidence, all very, very well rehearsed. Bulgarians rehearse everything, even down to a little half smile. Everything's very practiced. Massive cheers for the next competitor. And surprisingly enough, she's Spanish, Amaya Cardinoso. youngest member of the Spanish team. A lot of pressure on her. Sado and Pascual did very, very well yesterday. Spain in the lead. She'll know how much she needs to put in a good performance here. Spanish, very, very passionate about rhythmic gymnastics. They've had a lot of success as well. Strong national team. Was coached by Emilia Boneva, Bulgarian coach, just until last year. She has made them one of the forces to be reckoned with in this sport. Perhaps not quite the technical excellence of Pascual or Acedo, but very dramatic just the same. Join us again. Branimira Dimitrova, 9.25. And the young Spaniard, well, she'll be pleased with that, I'm sure. 9.3 for her rope exercise. Next to go in this competition. I'd say one of the strong gold medal contenders, or a medal contender anyway, for the individual event. Amina Zaripova from Russia. Zaripova, 17 years old. She's coached by Irina Vena. Trains at the Gymnastics Center in Novogorsk, just outside Moscow. Very, very supple gymnast. Some people would say almost too supple. She almost overuses it. The expense that there's, not much else in her exercise. Great feats of flexibility in that ball routine.
Elena Vitrichenko, Ukraine, Mazas.
Avec les massue,
She doesn't seem to get the feeling, though, into the exercise or the expression you perhaps see from the Bulgarians. It's all very upright, relying on that very supple back of hers to impress the judges. There's a quick flash there of the standings so far. And Bulgaria in the lead, but still a long way to go. Elena Vitrichenko from the Ukraine. Second club just out of reach. Grytchenko. She did try and stretch to it, but overcooked the throw. No problems that time though. Double illusion turn and a double throw to finish with.
Maria Ioannidou, Chipre, cinta.
Avec le ruban, Maria
Certainly
Ioannidou,
through those
Chypre.
clubs at some height. Most of this apparatus does fly 8-9 meters into the air. Most of this apparatus does fly 8-9 meters into the air. And Zaripova 9.55 for that ball routine. Gymnasts don't get credit for how high they throw the apparatus. It's all based on the body movement. And they can indeed get deducted if they're hanging around waiting for the clubs or the ribbon to come down. In some cases at competitions, if the hall's not very big, ceiling's not very high, but it's the maximum height required for a competition, I think it's 9 or 10 meters. If you throw the apparatus up and it gets stuck on the ceiling or caught on a beam, then it's unlucky and you can't start again. So gymnasts have to be able to adapt to the huge arena and the not so huge. Elena Sava from Cyprus. Cyprus fairly new to rhythmic gymnastics, but they did qualify for the Olympics last time round. And that was the first time for them. She had a couple of fumbles in there, didn't really feel confident, didn't look confident.
Carmen Acedo,
A few major
España.
wobbles, and she
Aro.
could be deducted because of the music at the end. It seemed to just drift off, didn't have a definite finish. And they could deduct her for that. Spanish flags are out and the crowd on their feet for Carmen Acedo from Spain. Fourth at the World Championships last year. Took a silver medal on ball. But really does look in good form, these World Championships. She's lost some weight. She's got some new exercises. She's very strong. Oh dear, that's disastrous for Acedo. She was going for that turning jump, and that's so easily done, passing the hoop under the leg. It looks easy. The hoop is really flying round at some speed, and that was off the carpet, both the hoop and her, so she'll have 2 deductions there. And that could have cost Spain a medal. Oh, good catch. Catch the hoop over the body in that flexion. And another difficult catch to finish with. Well, she didn't let that mistake affect the rest of the exercise at all. But it's She'll lose 0.1 for that. Slightly silly mistake. Sometimes it is quite difficult to go out and start the day with clubs. They really do need extra concentration. Usually better to try and get into your competition first with another piece of apparatus. Oh, there it goes again. Well, perhaps a slightly nervous performance from Pavlina. She got a couple of good scores yesterday, 9-1 on rope and a 9-3 on ball. Not bad for a beginner. And Gerdes gets 8.9. Finish number 1, Hannah Laiho. Didn't control that flexion very well. A little bit of a wobble as she came out of that. Well, I think even she would admit that is not one of her better performances. A bungled catch at the beginning, and then she had that drop in the middle, and a couple of other wobbles as well. Pavlina scores 9.05. Did quite well there considering she had 2 drops. Andrea Sebestova. One thing about all of the Czech girls They really do have a very neat way of working. Always maximum extension and good height on all the leaps and jumps. And that was a clean rope exercise. Wasn't risky, but the execution was very good. Very tight. Laiho scores 8.85. Asha Mackenzie. The second British girl to go in this group. Very explosive gymnast, Aisha. There's no sort of in-between with her. She either has a very good day or a very, very bad day. And I'd say that was one of her good performances. Really flew on all of those jumps. Certainly went for all the throws. And lovely music too from Porgy and Bess. Areti Sinapidou from Greece. Sinapidou here as the Greek #1. Although she's not actually ranked #1 in Greece, Maria Sansaridou is. But she's not here for some reason. It leads me to believe that perhaps maybe she's injured. No mistakes there for Sinapidou. Didn't risk too much with that exercise. Mackenzie gets 8.25. Possibly a little bit mean of the judges there. Magdalena Breszka, the German #1. Born in Poland, this girl, and did most of her gymnastics training there. But her family moved to Germany about 3 years ago. Really has matured as a gymnast over the last couple of years. Also grown a lot taller. Looks a lot more poised in her exercise. A lovely clubs routine there. Very, very relaxed. She said that she wants to be a model like Claudia Schiffer when she gets older. Well, certainly a lot more money in modelling than there is in gymnastics. Zina Pidou gets 895 for her performance. Tatiana Grisko. She's really one of the new stars of the Belarusian team. And in this competition anyway, she's their #1 because Lukyanenko has been hospitalized. Oh dear, overcooked that one completely. Very easily done that on competition day with ribbon, because the gymnasts throw the ribbon from the ribbon part rather than from the stick itself, and the stick carries the ribbon as a weight. And if your hands are a little bit hot, perhaps don't release it quite as you should. Well, that's a shame about that for her performance. Tatiana Grisko. She's really one of the new stars of the Belarusian team. And in this competition anyway, she's their #1 because Lukyanenko has been hospitalized. Oh dear, overcooked that one completely. Very easily done that on competition day with ribbon, because the gymnasts throw the ribbon from the ribbon part rather than from the stick itself, and the stick carries the ribbon as a weight. And if your hands are a little bit hot, perhaps don't release it quite as you should. Well, that's a shame about that single drop. I think it was on her first throw because she'd got the crowd behind her with that exercise. Plenty of personality. She got a good couple of scores yesterday. 9.45 and a 9.55. But I think she'll probably lose out this time round for that drop. Second Finnish girl, Annalie Lane. Now most of these gymnasts will know realistically that they haven't got much chance of qualifying for competition 2, which is tomorrow. Only the top 26 gymnasts go through to that, the maximum of 2 gymnasts per country, and they'll all compete again for the individual all-round world title. But everyone here today just focusing the mind on getting a good team score, because that's the medal that's at stake today. She's very pleased with herself. That rope exercise, whizzed through it.
Avec le cerceau, Andrea Sevestova, République Tchèque.
Certainly gave it her all. Agrisco 9.3 for ribbon. Possibly only lost 0.1 for the drop. Sevestova again. She's got her hoop this time. You notice that most of the girls in this competition use taped hoops, because the tape gives a little bit of extra grip, and it also protects the hoop, because when you're practicing you do tend to drop it quite a lot. It could be pretty expensive if you're cracking your hoop every time. No drops there though for Sevestova. Very precise worker. Needs to take a few more risks though. 8.65 for the little Finnish girl. British champion, Debbie Southwick. Just back from training in Bulgaria with Maria Gigova. She was world champion 3 times back in the 60s. In the past, Debbie's done a lot of her training in Russia, had a Russian coach for a while, and consequently speaks the language fluently. It says she prefers it in Bulgaria because she lives with a family and it's not such a lonely lifestyle. Very good catch, that. And that deep flexion on the floor. The crowd clapping the difficulty of that pirouette. Extremely difficult to turn with the legs so high. Oh, and I thought she was going to miss that last catch. The ball did look as if it was going way, way behind her. But obviously she had it timed to perfection. I'd say probably her best routine of these championships so far. Had a slight fumble at the beginning on a roll, but that was the only mistake. Kekiliadou from Greece. Two pretty decent scores yesterday, 2.865 she had. She's certainly not used to the limelight, this one. She hasn't been in any major internationals, certainly not a World Championships before. Just got to that throw in time. Quite risky, that finishing with the double throw of the clubs, especially going so far into the corner of the mat. And that's Debbie's best score so far, 8.95 for that ball exercise. And I must say the scores have been pretty low at these World Championships. The judges obviously consciously deciding that marks have to come down. It was only a couple of years ago when people were getting 10s hand over fist. It was getting quite ridiculous with 4 or even more people all tying for first place. Christine Schrocker obviously got quite a few fans in the audience. Nice rhythm routine. Trains with Magdalena Breszka at the Schmieden Club. You can see the similarities in style. They've got the same coach, Kristina Georgiev. Kakiliadou, she gets an 8-7. The smallest and arguably the cutest gymnast in this competition, Olga Zaitseva from Belarusia. And I suspect the only reason that she's actually competing at all is because Lukianenko has injured her foot. She's probably only over here to have a look and soak up the atmosphere. Did a great ribbon exercise yesterday. You could see all the judges grinning as they were watching her. One of the Germans was saying that she looks like a little flea. She's so small. I suppose you should say bee performing to that music. Whatever, it was an absolutely brilliant performance by the youngest girl in this competition. She has no respect at all, no fear. Katri Kalpala, another member of the Finnish team. I haven't seen this gymnast before, but I suppose that's the good thing about the new format at these World Championships, because each country has to produce 10 exercises and they can use their best 2 girls for 4 of them, but that still means they've got to find 2 more exercises. So it gives the chance to use 2 more gymnasts, possibly giving someone a chance of appearing at a World Championships that wouldn't necessarily have gone. She looked a little bit nervous when she came onto the floor, but didn't really show in her work at all. Put in a good performance, and 9 is the score for little Olga Zaitseva. 20, Lenka Ulelova, one of the veterans of this competition. She's got so much international experience, this girl. She's competed in 2 Olympic Games, countless world championships. At the last one, she finished 9th overall, which is one of her best results. Very consistent worker. Don't often see her drop the apparatus. Hope that doesn't put the kiss of death on her. Oh, super stuff from Ulelova. She has that great throw in the middle where she's doing a double roll and she almost bounces the ball before she catches it. There it is. And that takes a lot of doing because the ball is coming down at such speed. It could easily bounce off in completely the wrong direction. But she had it well under control. Jo Walker from Great Britain. Jo, originally from Scotland, both her parents are Scottish. She lives in London now and competes for the Hillingdon School of Gymnastics, where she's coached by Heather Richards, who's out there with the British team. Only competed ribbon yesterday, didn't have a particularly good performance. Great exercise, shame about the 3 drops. She looked nervous when she came out. Club's not her favourite piece. Don't think they're many people's favourite piece, really. She had 3 little drops, and that's at least 0.3 she's thrown away. Anastasia Kekliadou. Certainly throws the ribbon very high, this girl. Had to walk back a bit for that one though. Did have a drop near the beginning. They seem to have masses of throws in there. And sometimes that's almost asking for trouble. 8.925 the score for Jo Walker. Magdalena Breszka has already done a really good clubs exercise today. Good choice of music for rope. Frankie goes to Hollywood's Two Tribes. Good leg strength on that balance. Well, she seems to make her exercise look really easy, and in fact it's not, it's very difficult indeed. So confident, this girl. Eugenia Pavlina. A little bit nervous with clubs. I'm sure she'll be much more confident with hoop. Junior gymnasts usually pick up a rope first, and then invariably they'll learn hoop. Clubs is always the last piece that juniors learn, because that's the one you can do the most damage with. Much better that time round. You could see that she felt a lot safer with her hoop in her hand. Great extension on that hand balance. Only criticism is a couple of bad catches. Hanalaiho. She's coached by Sari and Tula Lutunen, mother and daughter who run a very, very big rhythmic gymnastics centre in Finland. Oh dear, that one got away. She could lose 0.2 for that drop. Did have to chase it. Still went for the risky catch at the end though, didn't play safe. All credit to her.
Ivana Ismitakova, República Checa, Mazas.
You see how she was watching that ball right to the very last minute to time that catch. Timing, the crucial factor in this sport. Apart from all the right body requirements, the right shape, the gymnasts really do need good timing, good reflexes, good peripheral vision is quite handy. All those qualities, they probably make quite good goalkeepers. Ivana Smitakova for the Czech team. Well, she's going to lose out for that drop at the end, which is a shame because it was a reasonable routine up till then. It's often the way she probably thought she had the throw in the perfect position and at the very last minute just took her eye off the club. Nice shot of Debbie Southwick's head. Very poised gymnast, Debbie. Took up this sport quite late on, really. It's only after she broke her wrist doing artistic gymnastics that she took an interest in rhythmic. Good flexion on that leap, adds to the difficulty. Great routine there. Very well done, Debbie Southwick. Really kept her cool. Great control on the pirouettes. Fairly new exercise. I've not seen it before. Christine Kaltzer from Greece. Using a very unusual rope there. She's obviously striped it herself. All the apparatus in rhythmic gymnastics pretty standard, apart from the rope. That's always cut to fit the gymnast's height, but everything else very, very similar. There's only a few manufacturers. And it all has to be a certain width, a certain weight. And all the apparatus, of course, measured before the gymnasts go on the floor. They have to go through a control, and if it doesn't meet the standard, then the gymnast has to find other apparatus. Or if she comes off after competing and it's found that the clubs are too light or the hoops too narrow, then she could be disqualified. Obviously choosing the music very carefully when she came to choreograph that routine. Had the Spanish audience in mind. It's always a good idea to try and get the audience on your side. Gives you a little bit of an extra boost. And Debbie Southwick gets a 9 for that ribbon exercise, and that means she's going to finish on a high note. Geddes. Has been said that she can be prone to disasters in competition, this girl, but she's had a very good championships. Certainly hasn't had any disasters. One small flaw in her work, and that is sometimes she doesn't finish the movement off completely. On the balance she's just done, for example, you could see on the supporting leg the knee wasn't quite locked, and all the time she's losing marks for things like that. Whatever you say about her, certainly all her exercises have plenty of oomph. Really puts a lot into them. Good personality, really gives it a lot. Kaltzer, she gets an 8.5. Now Grisco, she must be disappointed after her last piece. Had a mistake on ribbon. Lovely catch. In the middle of that leap, behind the back. That makes it all the more difficult, of course, because she can't shift her weight around or change direction. She's committed to the leap. She's got to hope that she's put the ball in the right place. And didn't quite put the ball in the right place there. Well, as ever from the Belarusians, lovely, lovely ball routine, very soft, very flowing. And their confirmation of this team competition. Bulgaria take the gold medal. The Ukraine, they take the silver on their own, and Russia take the bronze.